Hey, this is Drew of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. Today I'm going to be setting up this Martin to sound its absolute best. So right now we got some old strings. Now we have a Tusk saddle in here, which is not a bad material. We've got plastic or Tusk bridge pins. Again, it's just a different material. You can hear that buzz. Partially because we've got relief issues in the neck. So the truss rod is not where it should be. It's basically causing a slight back bow in the neck. So we're going to fix that. We're going to raise the action a little bit, and we're going to put new strings on here. We're going to replace this saddle with a piece of bone, and we're going to replace these bridge pins with bone bridge pins. And that's going along with all the tuner care and lubrication and conditioning and cleaning and everything else that goes along with one of my setups here at the shop. Anyway, we'll play you a little bit on this the way it is now, and then I'll play you a little bit the way that it is when I get it done. So I also wanted to mention that another thing that we're doing to this guitar today is we're pulling out this Undersaddle Pickup. Now, this is the thing that produces noise. This is the thing that makes the guitar electric. And so what happens is that this gets compressed under the saddle and picks up the pressure from the vibrations of the strings and produces voltage. And that voltage is then transferred to this preamp, which then throws an amplified signal out to your amplifier. And you know, you have an electric guitar essentially, so something that's producing electric signal. So here's my issue with these things. This is not a piece of acoustically active material. In fact, it's what we call an insulator. This actually absorbs the energy that we want to go into the soundboard. Now here's the thing. I'll explain how this works. So you have your strings coming down to the bridge, you know, going into the pinholes, and the thing is that these strings are vibrating, and they're producing kinetic energy at particular frequencies. This string is moving with inertia. It's moving with momentum. It's got energy, and that energy wants to go through the saddle and into the bridge, and then into the braces, which then activates this membrane, which vibrates with those same frequencies produced in the strings and creates pressure waves which you perceive as sound. This thing needs to move air. That's all it does. This thing is a giant speaker cone. So here's the thing, is that by putting this thing right at that critical point where your energy is wanting to really enter into the instrument through that saddle, you're losing a lot of it. This is the worst possible thing that you could do if you want an instrument to play well or have good tone acoustically. So these things are really good for playing live. There are a number of reasons why that's true, but the thing is that if you've ever listened to a lot of plugged-in acoustic electric guitars and you've heard this Undersaddle Pickup that sounds like the guitar is holding its nose, it's because what you're really picking up is the saddle. You're just picking up the strings, putting pressure on the saddle, and then going into that pickup directly. So this thing is, I mean, it's a nicely carved saddle is a really cool thing to have, and you know, it's definitely a thing that can improve tone, but it is not your guitar. Your guitar, this is not why you bought your Martin. Your Martin is the soundboard. Your Martin is your bridge. Your Martin is your braces. All of this is the stuff that you really want to hear when you want to hear an acoustic guitar. And this Undersaddle Pickup is just really not gonna give you that. And there are drawbacks to the thing that we're going to do today to improve that, but mainly it's just in terms of feedback. These things are a little less susceptible to feedback than these, which we're going to be installing. but these sound a lot better, and that's the advantage. These are Soundboard pickups, and what I'm going to be doing is installing these in some sweet spots, having to do with the location of the braces and where the soundboard is resonating. And so what these do is they produce the same sort of signal. These are just little piazzos like that saddle or the undersaddle pickup that we're removing. So what I'm going to do is just install these, and we're just going to wire these straight to the existing preamp so that we still can use this equalizer and we still get all of the advantages of having these onboard electronics, but with a different pickup. And so what's going to happen with these is that these things are going to get stuck onto the soundboard. You can either use double stick tape or you can use super glue. I usually prefer the double stick tape method. I think it sounds better, and I think it works better and is more reversible. But you can use either. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you the sound being produced by the soundboard and the braces. And so what you're going to be hearing from these pickups is what sounds more like an acoustic guitar than what you're hearing from this undersaddle pickup. And on top of that, you're also not hindering this delicate little area here under the saddle. So there's going to be a direct connection between the saddle, the new saddle that we're carving, and this bridge, and into the soundboard and everything. This is going to sound way better acoustically and electrically. So this is actually a pretty cool way to go, especially if you're sitting in the recording studio and you're wanting to use those pickups, those onboard electronics. These are going to give you a much more true representation of the guitar. They're going to sound better. They're going to work better, and your instrument is going to be a lot happier for it. And so I will go ahead and do all of this, and we'll see what it sounds like when I'm done. Alright, so we got the setup done. So we got the nut dialed in, we've got the frets all cleaned up, the neck relief is exactly where we want to see it, the string height is exactly where we want to see it, and with this new bone saddle that we installed, the string radius matches exactly that of the fretboard, which is a big deal. So this is on top of installing the bone bridge pins, removing the undersaddle pickup, and installing the soundboard pickups. So that's on top of all of the normal cleaning and maintenance and conditioning that I always do during setups. And I'm going to show you what this thing sounds like with the new improved tone. Testing out guitars. Still hear that sustain going. Got a lot of really nice attack. Everything is just super reactive. So anyway, now we're going to see what it sounds like plugged in. And before I plug it in, the one thing that is a drawback to these soundboard pickups is feedback, but you can fix that by getting one of these feedback busters. Now this one doesn't necessarily fit this guitar the best, so I'm going to have to kind of work it in the sound hole. And we'll have to see where that goes. But basically what this is, just a big rubber plug, goes over your sound hole, adds a little bit of weight to the soundboard, shuts down a little bit of the airflow inside the instrument and makes it a little quieter. You can get these things on eBay for really cheap. You can get them at your music store. I happen to have a sticker in mine just so that I can find it easier. black. And if you're on stage, it's kind of hard to spot a black thing sometimes. But anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this amp on. Now, this is with the volume set to about mid, and the EQ is just completely flat all the way down. So anyway, as you can see, this has a bit more of a natural acoustic tone than you typically get from an undersaddle pickup. So let's try boosting the bass just a little bit and lowering that treble. Maybe pushing the brilliance a little towards the minus side. Now it sounds just like an acoustic guitar, basically. A little bit more electric. So anyway, this is Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. I hope you found this video informative and helpful, and if you do happen to find yourself in need of guitar repair and you are in Seattle, please give me a call. There's a web page at the bottom of this video that you can go ahead and click and find my website, and I've got a number of other helpful videos if you just search around on my channel or you go to the videos tab on my website. Anyway, thank you for watching. Adios.